Now, can you all see that?
Yes.
Yep, yep.
Okay, so going right back to the start, on the very first session, we talked about how creativity is the act of looking for possibilities, of loosening the edges of things. And we talked about that particularly as the idea of this is a chair, changing to, oh, hang on, my page is not changing. There we go. Becomes this is used as a chair. So small shift in language, but a big difference in perception, hopefully, that you see what something might be rather than just what it is. Then the next week we went on and we played Scribble, which was a version of Scrabble with one important difference. God, what is going on here? That the one rule of Scrabble is changed, that you don't just make words, you have to make up words. So we made up lots of words, and I think if I remember rightly, was it Nambler? Was that where we ended up?
Nambler, yeah.
Nobody wanted to be a Nambler, and if you weren't there, well, you weren't there. But the important thing about that was that, you know, we picked the word that we liked best, and, you know, it needs to be word-like to be accepted. So some things you just can't imagine them as words, and it needs to be different to be worth the bother. If it's too like a familiar word, what's the point? So a lot of what you're trying to do when you're being creative or innovative is like that. It's that balance between something different and something familiar, and being usefully different and excitingly different. Then we played another game. We looked at 101 uses for a milk carton, and then we put a twist on this game where we decided to be somebody different for the purposes of playing the game. And I think we all found that that led to lots more interesting and surprising and diverse uses for the milk carton. The point being that often the biggest barrier to the things you'll write on the list is the fact that it's your list and you have to own it. Whereas if it's Donald Trump's list, there's a whole lot more stuff that can go on there. So allowing ourselves to sort of not be the author is a great way to have more ideas. So, so being someone else is a way of loosening up yourself. So now we're going to get on to how we can have a little bit more fun doing exactly this, loosening up ourselves. So we're going to talk about micro adventures. And what I mean by this is spending 5 minutes on another world. The 5 minutes bit is important because you don't want to, the fact that that makes it easy, makes it more valuable. Quick to do, easy to do, but there's far more value in having a micro adventure than trying to go on an enormous adventure. So what do I mean by 5 minutes on another world? We've all been in a supermarket. There are literally tens of thousands of things in a supermarket, most of which you don't buy, and most of which you don't even notice. You just walk past them and you pick up the stuff that you always buy. So one micro adventure is to buy something buy something that other people buy. This is in some ways all about that. All of those things that are there, somebody buys them. So how about you try being them for a moment by buying something that they buy? Seeing what you think of it. Seeing if you can get your head around why somebody likes this, you know? So that's one option. Another option, simple one, watch the stuff other people watch. So it's fine to spend 10 hours watching your favorite box set as you go from episode to episode, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with saying, I wonder what this thing is about, and just spending a few minutes with it, especially if it's something that you think, do you know what, I think I'd hate that. Find out if you actually hate it. And as you're finding out if you hate it, think about the person who loves it. What's going on with them? And can a little bit of what they're about be something that you might want to allow yourself to be every now and then? Third way, just change the rules of your world. And often the easiest way to change something is to just swap it into some kind of opposite. So how about having dinner for breakfast? How about walking backwards, even just for a few feet? Most of us have never, ever walked backwards. What about holding your cup in the other hand while you drink your tea? Or the notion of being uncontactable for a period of time.
Now you had me for the first three. The fourth one, seriously?
Yeah, I know. Didn't say this was going to be easy. I said it'd be fun. Do you know, it's interesting in all the years I've thrown this thing at people, the one that you get the strongest positive responses to is being uncontactable. When people do it, everyone's horrified at the idea of doing it, but the experience of doing it is usually, people get evangelistic about it. They're like, we all need to be more uncontactable.
Oh, I can imagine.
I did that it wasn't planned, but I did it for 10 days in France when my phone was lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, so actually it's not bad.
I think that I'd be more worried about the experience after I become contactable again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all that.
Shooting.
You mean what you would have missed, Jing, or do you mean that you might just never want to go back?
No, all the catch up.
Or you may find nobody was trying to contact you. That is always the fear of being uncontactable, yeah. Right?
Yeah, isn't that what they say about, you know, the sort of the reality of the 1984 vision, you know, that we would be constantly watched by cameras, and that what Orwell got wrong was that that we would be the ones that would buy the cameras, and our biggest fear would be that no one is watching.
Yeah.
But anyway, so those are three. Let me just flick back through those again, because I'm going to send you off to do this now and make up your own list of things to try. But here's my first thought starters for you. Try the stuff other people buy. Watch the stuff other people watch. Change the rules of your own world in some way or another. Yeah. So what I want to do is I want to quickly throw you into groups, and I want you to make up a list of things that you might consider trying for 5 minutes. The goal is to come up with 3 and to try those 3 at some point over a week for 5 minutes. And you will find you will get more, it'll be a more powerful experience if you try things that you either think you really wouldn't like, or that you think, I can't see any reason why there'd be anything in that at all. Going after the stuff you think you would like to do that you've never done is really only going to reinforce who you are. So the loosening of yourself is more in the space where you try things that are outside your familiarity. Okay. So, and the other thing, when you go off and you do this in a little group, another good approach is to ask for suggestions from the other people in the group. So your job is more to contribute suggestions to other people than to make your own list over the coming 5 minutes that I'll leave you to do this. Okay. So let me do so go make your list and pick 3 to do this week. So let me do the breakout thing. Hang on. Probably need to stop sharing, do I, in order to be able to see this? Right now, I'm not seeing the option to make breakouts. Do you have to make me a host, Joanne, perhaps, to do that?
On mute, but yes.
Yeah, just one sec.
All I have in my head is, as the others will know, it's all the things that's going off in my head because I saw the banner.
Louise thinks in songs. I need to figure out what that is.
Yeah.
I hear anything, because every word or every sentence or every 2 words is in a song somewhere. So my head just instantly goes to start, like the song goes off in my head.
I find that too, that sometimes if I'm sort of wondering what's going on for me in my head, if I pay attention to the tune, it's often telling me an awful lot of, you know, what's the song I'm quietly humming to myself in the background. I go, all right, so that's what's on my mind.
Mine goes from anything anyone says, the song goes off in Louise's head.
Okay, so how many people do we have?
13, including yourself, Shane.
Okay, so I'll stay out of it, and I'll do 4 groups of 3. So 4 groups of 3, assign automatically, create. Perfect. Okay, see you all in 5 minutes.
Bye.
And we're back.
That went by so quickly.
Yeah, 5 minutes is not a lot of time.
Yeah.
Need more chance.
But maybe the point is, you know, when you do it quickly, you don't think about it too much, and that may lead to more surprising or interesting things. So can some or all of you type your planned 3 micro adventures into the chat, and we can get a feeling for what's going to be happening over the next week. Okay, something different on Netflix. Yeah, pick out something new to eat. I challenge you to put some specifics on that when you get off the call. Leave the leave the euro in the trolley. Why not? I've never ordered a takeaway. Wow, there you go. Things that people have never done will always amaze you. Make my bed before getting into it. Love it. Give up milk, go to bed at 10, and then get up early. Nice. Get out of bed without even checking the phone. That's hard. I actually challenged myself to do that this morning, and I did just check the time. Pot noodles, great. Animate, walk backwards, lovely. How are you going to sit in the back while your son is driving? Interesting. Let go control. Read something that doesn't align with interest. Yeah, definitely. Buy a random stranger a coffee in the queue behind.
I get in trouble.
That could get you in trouble.